Right, we will start in the room, and we'll go to Eric first. Go ahead, please.
Hi, what's up, Jrue?
What's going on?
Welcome back to Milwaukee.
Appreciate it. It's good to be back.
For you guys, obviously, defensively, it's just going to keep being a struggle. Like, you got two good players in Paul and Booker. Just what do you think you guys did better in Game 2 than in Game 1?
Thought we did a good job of keeping them out the paint, keeping them off the free throw line. Now we got to take away the threes. They shot the ball really well from three, but just got to do a better job of contesting and making it tough in that way. So something we can improve on.
Bridges really attacks closeouts well, right? Like, you guys get the kick to the corner, and then he's attacking it. How do you guys kind of help contain him a little bit more? Because I know it's like first level and then second level is kind of what they're hitting on right now.
Right. Last game, we kind of felt like we were overhelping a little bit too much. So if we're a step closer to Bridges, we can take away that three and be able to stay down enough to recover and close out, and then slide our feet to be able to take away the drive too. So maybe not help off just as much, maybe leave it more so to the big and make sure that we show bodies, but knowing that they have three-point shooters out there and we got to get out to them.
Logan Murdoch of The Ringer. You've been the primary defender on Chris Paul. What is the mental toll it takes to guard him when he is doing the subtle pushes, the subtle elbows, or whatever, everything that he does? What kind of toll does that take, and how do you push through that when you are guarding him?
I wouldn't say necessarily a mental toll. I think it's just being competitive, just like in the way he probably gets annoyed by me. But for the most part, it's probably more of a physical, trying to make it hard on him, just to be able to, down the stretch, make shots. Obviously, we're at the end of the season, and to be able to pick somebody at full court and him fighting me the whole game, and then be able to come down toward the end of the game and knock down shots, sometimes your legs might be tired or your arms or whatever. So really just try to make it difficult on him.
Sam Amick, The Athletic. Good to see you, Jrue.
Ah.
I was hoping you could look back to last summer a little bit for me. My understanding, when you're in New Orleans figuring out what's next, there were several teams that, your group had made it clear that you'd be pretty content to go to and possibly re-sign and do the extension. Did anything else come anywhere, to close to happening other than this? And when it comes to the Bucks situation, what was the dialogue like with Giannis in terms of just trying to figure out how it might look?
For other teams, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember. I think everything happened so fast. It was a weird off season. Everything happened quickly. So when I got the news that I was going to Milwaukee, first person I talked to was Giannis, and just how excited he was that I was coming. And at the time, I think the Boban situation was happening too. So it was like, yeah, we're happy that you're going to be here and super excited. Let's get to work. And that's one thing I love about Giannis. It's really about putting in the work and being able to show it off on the court.
Steve McGarvey, Associated Press. The second round, you were in a similar situation down 0-2 to Brooklyn. Frankly, the games there were more lopsided than they were in Phoenix. How much can you draw on that experience going into this, or is it just two totally different things, and you can't? And does it help at all that you've been through it before?
It helps tremendously. Again, those first two games that we lost in Brooklyn were like, the first one was bad and the second was really bad. But I think these last two games we lost by 10. We felt like they kind of controlled the game, and to know that we've been in a position like this where we can come home and do the same thing is huge for us mentally. But honestly, I think that one of the biggest things is every time we played, we felt like we got better, and we plan on doing that game 3, 4, or 5, and however long.
Go to Zoom for a couple questions. Go ahead, Peter.
Next question will be from Christos, followed by Davide.
Hello, Jrue. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How beneficial was the last experience for you in playoffs that you were down by 2-0 against the Nets, and what did you learn from that series? And how important is to set the tone at Fisher Forum in Game 3 from the first minute?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot from Brooklyn. Just being able to have that mindset that even down 2-0, you can still take care of business. I'm not gonna lie, that series was draining, but it was one of the most exciting series that I've ever been a part of, and glad that I got to partake in it. But it is about setting the tone. We know that our crowd here has so much energy, just like the Suns had in Phoenix. But our crowd here is awesome, and we know they have our back, and we're going to play for them. But not only that, to be able to win games and protect home.
Hi, Drew. This is Davide Chinellato with La Gazzetta in Italy. When you arrived in Milwaukee, what did you find there in terms of the group, and what do you think made this group so special, as in to make it to the finals?
The group was it was a veteran group. It was a lot of guys that had been together, and then a lot of guys who had just come together for the first time. So I think there was a good mix of what the expectation was, and then adding on veterans who complemented this system and Chris and Giannis really well. So coming in was really fun. We knew what the goal was, and we're here. We just have to achieve it.
Okay, we'll go to Eric here. Go ahead, Eric.
The list of players that have scored 42 points in a finals game is pretty short. And I'm not going to say we didn't really talk about it, but I think I've seen it so many years here with Giannis that at times I take it for granted. What is your experience of watching him go for 42 in a finals game?
I mean, I feel like it's a little sweeter when you win the game. We know that Giannis, he carried us offensively. To be able to do that in such a crucial game is huge, and we know what he's capable of, more than 42. So it's definitely exciting and great to know that we have that, but we got to help him out a little bit.
Go to Zoom. Sam, go ahead.
Jrue, Logan had asked you about the physical toll, mental toll of guarding Chris. I mean, you always deal with that both ends of the floor type thing. But is this matchup with Chris and with Devin, in terms of what it takes out of you defensively, is there any more of a ripple effect on your offensive game, especially when coach is asking you to be, maybe even more aggressive than normal?
I think sometimes it happens. But it's literally been like that this whole playoff experience from game one in Miami to now. So I'm not complaining. I signed up for it. That's the reason why I'm here. And at times it might get tiring for offense, and I know I'm just going to have to exhaust myself on defense. But that's where, everybody else and even me at times have to step up and do different things.
Just a quick follow. I wonder, you decided a very long time ago to be a two-way player. Do you have times when you think to yourself, like, man, if I came off the gas a little bit down here, it would make things a little easier in the other end? Is that a commitment that you ever question at all, or is that just who you are?
Nah, I don't like getting scored on, to be completely honest. It just is in my nature. I really don't like that. Like, it bugs me to my core. So even against the best players in the world and being able to guard KD or Trey or Chris or Jimmy, whoever, it just bugs me. So me personally, I like to be able to stop somebody from scoring and go down there and score on you.
Laurie, go ahead, please.
Both by his position and his body type, Brook Lopez is pretty dependent on being fed the ball. He's not going to bring it up court or anything. But his personality doesn't seem like he's going to demand it. So how do you balance that? I mean, if he doesn't speak up to you or whatever, do you have to read him? Or maybe he does speak up and I just don't see it as much. Like, will he say anything at halftime or in the middle of the game? Nah,
Brook is he's like, and I told him the other day, I texted him and I was like, man, I love being your teammate because you don't complain about anything, and then we ask you to do so much and you don't get any credit for it. So he's definitely one of those players that you love to have on your team, and he is a weapon. To be able to utilize him more is going to be key for us. We've seen what he can do, especially in big games where he had to score, but yeah, it's going to be huge for us to utilize him.
Gotta go to Zoom for one final question. Go ahead.
The last question will be from Cassidy Hubbard.
Hey, Jrue. Coach Bud just acknowledged the responsibility on your shoulders defensively. You just said, you signed up for this and you've been experiencing it all playoffs. But given the matchup in CP and Devin, and these are the finals, do you feel like you have a heavier load defensively on your shoulders right now?
No, I think it's about the same. It's always been win or go home. We do know that it's the finals and this is the last series, but every game I want to win. Every game I treat like it's game 7. So I bring that same mentality, that same mindset that honestly, this is it, and I'm gonna go out there every game and do the same.